we're going to get a look into the recording processes used on the album, how artist and producer work together in the studio, and also learn a bit more about how to get the best from a vocal session. We're also going to get a look at the first single from the album as a bit of a behind-the-scenes insight into exactly what goes into a vocal session and a project like this. So yeah, welcome along, Dinky and Matthew.
Thank you for having us.
So this is Dinky. This is your fifth studio album.
Yeah.
And it's the first that kind of sees you step up as a kind of singer-songwriter.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I did work with my vocals before, but a little bit more like loose and without any structure.
Okay.
So this one is the first one with proper lyrics and somehow a more formal song structure.
Yeah. And how, you know, if this is as it is your fifth album, how is the approach different? You know, how do you starting this project? How did you approach it?
First, I had to train myself a little bit technically to be able to know the rules of songwriting and to break them as well. Because if you don't know them, you can't break them.
Yeah.
So to see if I wanted to like stick to really proper songwriting, like the rules, or break them, or like change things. Secondly, of course, as a performer, you have to be able to sing well and to be relaxed. So that I had to train myself in certain things like singing and as well as playing a little bit better instruments and classes and training and playing in front of people and things like that. And lately, writing. But that came from myself, so I didn't go to school or anything for like songwriting. It just came from me. But basically, I had to train myself as a musician a little bit better, because when you DJ, and I'm a very busy DJ, you don't have so much time for that. So I had to take some time off and be quite selective with my gigs and really study a little bit. I found a little bit that with dance music, I hit sort of like a wall, not in a negative way, but I just wanted to go more far away with my musically and structure, and just communicate a little bit more to the people with vocals and my voice and lyrics and instruments.
Okay, and Matthew obviously co-producing the album. Was it a kind of collaborative process the whole way along?
From quite early on we started working together, but I think the writing process was, we tried a few different things at the beginning. We made quite a few songs, I think.
We tried to write together,
but sometimes as a starting point, it would be better that you would improvise alone and come up with an idea of where you wanted to. Because also when you're writing and being in the studio together, I think it can be a lot of pressure that there's something's recording and someone else is like waiting for you to do something. Yeah. And actually, it's quite such a personal thing for you.
I think writing for me is very personal. I like to be alone to do it, and I do a lot of improv as well.
Okay.
Instead of writing before. A lot of people write before, then they put the chords. I do the opposite. Or at least in this album, I want to try to do it differently next time. But so for improvisation, you kind of need to be alone, because it's sort of long, and then you just like
and you don't really need the pressure of trying to make something happen on cue.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and how about the kind of on the technical side of things? I know that you use quite a lot of hardware.
Mostly,
on the tracks. So, what is the kind of setup you're working with in the studio?
You want to say it?
Yeah, the studio is based around a Pro Tools HD TDM system, which we got just before we started the album. Because this made more sense. We found when we were doing some tests and recording guitar and vocals and things, we found that the zero latency that offered us, and we could use it more like a tape machine. Whereas with other programs, we were not finding it so easy to manipulate the vocals and guitars and
also
all
the grid system of Pro Tools is very easy to edit and to like shuffle
audio
things.
Editing,
And I guess also the sound quality was very important in terms for recording. Was very, very, very clear, and I think for me it's the best sound quality that I found in systems, the HD systems.
And then we have some keyboards, the Prophet 8 from Dave Smith,
Prophet 5.
Studio Electronics SC1 for basses, some outboard effects from Eventide, Bricasti.
Yeah, the Eventide 8000 is very
big
important.
part of your sound. Yeah.
And I guess the writing process, you know, with that kind of setup in the studio is very hands-on. You know, you're constantly kind of using hardware and interacting with it, rather than working in the box, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
some of the songs that you have, you love the Eventide H8000, and it's a big part of your sound. I think that you do something very simple in there. You can make one vocal sound, and you have an arpeggio come out on the other side of it, which becomes.
It's a little bit avant-garde, so it makes your music sound very different. If you harmonize things or you like pitch shift things, I like to work with pitch shifting a lot to make it a little bit disorienting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've listened to the album this week, and I think, you know, there is a real kind of ethereal kind of feel to it. Is there something that you know, is that kind of a conscious decision, and you know, is there certain technical processes that you do to achieve it?
I think it's part of my personality.
Yeah.
That's all. I think I'm quite honest with who I am on my music, so I'm a like a little bit dreamy person, and I like nature and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it just reflects my personality, and I try to find sounds that reflect who I am, but it wasn't really conscious. So I try to make the guitar a bit like an unconventional instrument. I don't play it so
almost
much.
pad-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of Eventide pedals and things like that. So that's how we're going to do it live. And Matthew will be doing all the drums and electronics and things like that. I also will be playing the keys.
Very surf.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
I'm very much influenced by Chris Isaac as well.
Yeah,
I grew up with his
yeah.
music, so I really like his tone. And yeah. Like, it's important to take everything you think it's not going to, the song doesn't need, and keep it quiet. I mean, of course, I have a lot of tracks there, but there were even more before. But deleting things is very important to like be conscious that, okay, I don't need that, I don't need that, I don't need that. That doesn't need to be there, and make space for other things to come. That's very, that you learn really late if someone doesn't tell you. But as a musician also said, the most important thing is the silence between notes. It's the same thing with this. It's very important what you don't play and what you
I guess
play.
there's a slight kind of commitment there as well. You know, once you're saying, you know, I don't need this part, and you take it away, you know, you'll kind of make a bit of a stamp. You know, I think one thing with software is the constant, you know, temptation to undo. You know, which is kind of not always a great thing.
Yeah, the commitment is. We have the studio next door to us. There's two guys running that, and they've been recording for 30 years. They used to work at Connie Plank's studio, and they're always still recording to 4-track tape.
Really?
You know, I mean, it's a beautiful studio, but they have a Pro Tool system and everything, but they like the bands, because now these days, if you have a band, it's quite expensive to take out a studio where you're going to have, you know, full microphones set up, an engineer, and all these things. And he always encouraged them to rehearse for 6 months and come in with your songs together. And then
make a great
performance. And then you
performance.
have a great performance.
And the energy as well.
Exactly,
I guess,
exactly. This is really...
I think the live electronic music sometimes can be a little bit so pre-programmed. And I think it's important to have a live element to it because it just feels a bit more human. Also, I think it's important to reamp things.
Yeah.
Very good for sound. Like I started playing guitar and recording it through the eye, and preamps, and I didn't really love the guitar tone until I put on an amp and I put a microphone.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, and it's a huge difference on sound when you record through an amp than when you DI things.
I think there's also a little bit of a, you know, whether it's a resurgence or it's just being more known that lots and lots of people are going back to, you know, trying to step away from the computer slightly, you know, trying to do stuff live, trying to make mistakes, you know, here and there, and get off the grid slightly. And obviously it comes through on the album. You know, great job, I think.
Thank you very much.
So as we kind of just approach the end of the session, the Dimension D comes out on Vision Quest, is that right as well? So how do you have a relationship with those guys as well, I take it?
Well, I know Seth, and he's been a fan for a long time of my music, and he's always very receptive, and so I sent him the album. We had a few offers from other labels, but the only label that really said we want the album just as it is for them. A lot of labels wanted to change things and make it like this or make it a bit more like that, and I didn't want to compromise so much this time. I wanted to make it my way, and they loved the album just as it was. I mean, there was a few compromises in playlist, and we all had to like agree on things, but musically it's it was very much as it is, so that was one of my biggest plus there in the label, and they're lovely, and everything is very professional, and I have a lot of freedom, which is very good. Yeah,
I mean, it's a fantastic label, and I think you know, from listening to the album this week, as I said, it's a great home for it, I think, as well. You know, many thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Really great, really enjoyed the session. And yeah, Dimension D should be out this month on Vision Quest. So yeah, thanks for watching, all you guys at home. Do keep locked to the YouTube channel and the Point Blank Facebook, and we'll be back with another broadcast very soon. Thanks a lot.